Sorry if the editing is quite choppy and you keep seeing me looking down. I am looking at my notes. Okay, so this video is a bit different. I haven't uploaded like in a few months. Obviously it's only been music that I've uploaded. This is quite different to anything I've posted on my channel. This is more for people who want to connect with God, or want to know more about God, or if you're not sure what to believe in sense of a God. Hopefully this helps. Mainly to build a relationship with God. That's what this is about. All the stuff that I have is from my friend, and if I think it will help him, I hope it helps other people too. It's a lot. I'm gonna try make it as short as possible, but that might be a bit difficult. Okay, I'm just editing this right now, and there's a scream in the background which I didn't hear during the recording, so that is quite weird. Okay, let's just go on with the video. That was quite weird, but let's just go past that. And I might have to fucking cut it down so much, because I have it written down and I'm so dyslexic and it's horrible. God's a commitment. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Historically, Jesus lived, Jesus died, and his body was never found. And that was said by an atheist scholar. When you think about it more, it kind of shows that Jesus did live, and lived a perfect life. He helped people, he used his miracles to even help people. All that just to get whipped and crucified for all of us. That's the beauty of Jesus. He took the punishment we all deserve. Because it says in the Bible, the punishment for sin is death. And he took that punishment with no sin. Even if you think you don't sin, you sin every day. You do sin without knowing you are sinning. But sometimes you sin knowing you are sinning. Back in his day, you would deserve the crucifixion Jesus went through. Everything he was going to go through or went through, you, not just you, me, all of us deserve. As the punishment is death. But Jesus died for all of our sins. If you believe he is God, believe that he died, rose himself from the dead, that punishment is gone. As he said himself, whoever believes in me believes in the Father. Or when he talked to the thief on the cross, saying you'll be with me in paradise, after just putting his belief in him. Even though he sinned like everyone else sinned, he still was saved. Even though he didn't get baptized, he didn't go and change his whole life around, but he still got there. Which shows even in your last moment of life, you can still change, and if you really mean it, you will be saved. Just remember, in your lowest parts of life, Jesus is always there. He doesn't disappear. He's there to comfort you. This is now getting into a bit personal about my side. Like, that's how I got past my uncle's death. Even though I believed in the afterlife, I was still quite sad and depressed. But when I felt more connected with God, it kind of gave me a bit of peace. Even though I still believe in the afterlife before and after, it gave me a lot more peace, building back a connection with God. Like, if someone did die in my family, let's just say, would I be sad? Well, yes, I would, but I know this life is not the end. As Jesus kind of says, I don't remember the exact lines, but death is the last obstacle to eternity or everlasting life. So I shouldn't really be worried about someone passed away and like, this is it, that's the end, we're going to nothing. as I believed when I was younger. When I was younger, I believed in God. I was a Catholic. I'm not a Catholic anymore. Not trying to get into the whole denomination thing. I'm not part of a denomination. I'm just a follower of Jesus. When I was young, I'd say when I was about 9 or 10, I had a fear. Even though I believed in God, I didn't fully understand it, but I was like, what if I died and nothing happened? Which my whole mindset's changed about that now. In my head, there's two options, right? And you could either agree or disagree, but it seems quite logical. Either you believe in God and die and go nowhere, or you don't believe in God and you die and go to hell. They're the two worst options. Either you believe and go nowhere, that's probably the worst option, but at the same time, you won't care. You're not there anymore. You have no feelings. You don't have anything. You're gone. But if there is a God and you don't believe, you're going straight to hell, which is torture. That's why I'm spreading it out there. Because even though I don't know a lot of people out in the world, doesn't mean I don't care for them. I don't want them to be saved. I want everyone to be saved, even people that I don't like. Even through my breakup, after I broke up with them, I did make mistakes. I started smoking weed because I was very depressed and a therapist didn't help. When I was with that person, I did believe in God. I mentioned God a lot, but it kind of put me away from God, and I was kind of struggling afterwards because I was depressed. I didn't have a connection with God around, and I just fell into this hole. I literally dug myself a grave, and yeah, I thought the only way out was weed. I don't know why. That was the first thing that came to my head, because I knew someone that dealt it. I knew it helped with depression sometimes, so I was like, I'll see if it helps, and it did. It helped for a while, and I started watching a movie which helped me get back closer to God, which was The Passion of the Christ. If you never watched it and you want to see kind of Jesus' life or something how like it, I recommend watching that. If you want to feel a bit more, not connected with him, but more, I want to kind of see the actions he did. So yeah, it was one of the reasons why I got fully back connected with God. That someone gave me a Bible, which I still have over there. When I went back to God, I understood the mistakes I made. I understand the mistakes I made and how I got so attached to that person. Like, for example, and this is for a lot of relationships out there, when you're doing all sexual shit with someone is what really connects you, or what people call a soul tie, where it's like your souls are kind of tied to a knot, and that's what makes the breakup so much worse. If you do love someone and you do that with that person after the breakup, it's going to hit so bad. Maybe for some people it won't, as they might keep doing it over and over and over, and they kind of just get used to it. But if you really love someone, it will really hurt. And yeah, that's why breakup is one of the most painful things that you can go through. If you really love someone, you go through a breakup, it's the most painful thing. And I felt a lot of fucking pain. Even through that pain though, God will always be there to help. He'd be there to help you understand with what you did wrong, the situation, why you got attached, all that type of stuff. But one thing you should do is to love that person like you love others, in a religious standpoint, as Jesus said. Love your enemies like your neighbours, or something like that. But if you are both willing to do a lifelong relationship, go for it. Just be careful. Of course, you're not really supposed to marry more than one person. But for example, if you marry someone, get divorced, you shouldn't really marry someone else. It's not really allowed. But it can still happen. People do it a lot. I'll end on this now. Through your darkest times in life, God will be there. But even in the best times of your life, He will also be there. And that's the beauty of God. And the reason I want to say this to my friend, I'm going to get into a little bit now at the end. He said a few things which I really disagree with, and some things I kind of agree with. One thing he said is the God that's in most books, most religious books, is probably like 1/1000 of the real God that we don't know about. Which I disagree, as I don't think he understands what the word infinite means, as God is infinite. It can't be 1/1000 of infinity. That's not a thing. Then he said, God is so confusing for us humans to comprehend. I agree. So many religious books, I'm not going at them, but it's the truth. It's either there's one God, one part of one God, there's many gods, we are God, there is no God. And then you go to the Bible and it's just like, it's different. It's one God but three distinct persons, I think the word is. So it's completely different. Like, Islam is just one God, Buddhism is, we're all part God, I think. Judaism, one God. Greek mythology, that was mythology, many gods. But yeah, this is why I want to help my friend. He used to be a Satanist. I'm not gonna, I don't know. He used to be a Satanist, and he kind of fell away from Satanist, and he said he believes in a God. He just doesn't care to put his trust into God, or not trust, but to believe in that God fully. But this type of thing, I hope, will help him. And this is not to force him. If he ever wants to stop talking about it, I'll give it up. And that's to anyone I talk to. If you don't want to hear about it, I'll drop it. I'm not trying to force you. I'm just trying to help you find the light in the darkness. A lot of people in this world are blinded by darkness. So many people can see the truth right in front of them, and they still deny it. There's so many prophecies in the Bible that have come true or came to happen. And it's so weird how people just either brush that off as like, oh, that's all coincidence. Like all those 100, 200 prophecies that already happened, they're all coincidence. And also people are like, oh yeah, I might say that, but I don't believe in that. It's all corrupt, which makes no sense. So I'm just trying to spread the light to places where there's darkness. Kind of doing God's work in a way by helping people connect more with God. So yeah. Anyways, the next time you see me, I'm not going to be talking about God. It's either going to be some more music or some more coming, which I'm still waiting for it to happen. I'll see you whenever. God bless.